From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
Hi, I'm Micah Halpern, sitting in for Teisha Bader, here with the JBS News Update for Monday, February 26, 2018. Egypt's Antiquities Ministry has announced the discovery of an ancient necropolis near the Nile Valley city of Minya, south of Cairo. Over the weekend, the Egyptian Ministry of Antiquities announced that the large cemetery is located north of Tuna al-Gabal, a vast archaeological site on the edge of the western desert. It includes several burial shafts and hosts more than 1,000 statues and some 40 sarcophagi, as well as other artifacts. Antiquities Minister Khalid al-Anani said the necropolis is host to members of different families and is believed to date back to the late Pharaonic period and the Ptolemaic era. The leaders of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates will visit the White House and meet face-to-face with U.S. President Donald J. Trump in March and April. There is no doubt about the agenda for these meetings. The White House wants to try to smooth over tensions between Sunni states and bring some calm back to the region. Qatar has been rocking the boat and aligning with Iran, and that has caused some serious backlash in relations. The White House also wants to enlist these leaders their assistance in hammering out a Middle East peace plan with the Palestinians. The strategy is part of a larger plan to widen the influence and the participation of nations involved in the peace effort and leverage pressure on Palestinian leadership to accept a deal. More important than the leverage is the looping in of major Sunni states and their leaders. This will lend credibility to an agreement and obviate any direct responsibility for a peace plan, a significant factor hindering progress that so frightens Palestinian leaders like Abbas. If the White House can bring everyone together, an agreement can be cobbled out, supported and underwritten by the major Sunni states. Ideally, that plan will make a deal with Israel easier for the Palestinians to swallow and ultimately sign. Last week, following his address at the United Nations Security Council, websites were chattering away about Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas's health. Rumors spread about his weak heart. Some concluded that the health crisis was related to decades of heavy smoking. The Palestinians were mum, but their president did not look good or sound healthy when he spoke at the United Nations. On Thursday, Abbas was spotted in Baltimore at Johns Hopkins University Hospital, but according to his travel schedule, Abbas was scheduled to be in South America. Official Abbas spokesman said that the Palestinian president was in the hospital for routine checkups. With pressure mounting, Abbas spoke to Wafa, the official Palestinian media outlet, and said, "Our presence here was a suitable chance for us to make some medical checks. We actually made those checks, and we are out now, and thank God, all results are positive and are assuring. This is God's blessing on us." Abbas is 82 years old. He has had cardiac catheterization to unblock clogged arteries. Abbas has a worrisome health history. Israeli energy company Delek, which is owned by Noble Energy, signed a $15 billion deal with Egypt to provide the Egyptians with natural gas over the next 10 years. This is the largest contract yet for the offshore natural gas fields that the Israelis tapped and have been operating since 2016. Jordan also has an agreement with Israel. Israel will deliver natural gas in exchange for $10 billion over 15 years. Israel is becoming a regional provider of natural gas. Arab nations are signing up for their natural gas. It is another one of those counterintuitive situations. Israel is now supplying the Arab world with energy. Arab countries are already importing Israeli energy. Iran's Foreign Minister, Javad Zarif, said that when Hezbollah downed an Israeli F-16, it shattered the myth of Israel's invincibility. He said that now, when Israel attacks its Arab neighbors, the neighbors can attack and defeat them. Israel uses aggression as a policy against its neighbors, Mohammad Javad Zarif told the Munich Security Conference. He also accused Israel of, quote, mass reprisals against its neighbors and daily incursions into Syria, Lebanon, unquote. According to Zarif, and he continues here, once the Syrians have the guts to down one of its planes, it is as if a disaster has happened. In response to Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's remarks after February 10th downing of the Israeli F-16 jet, Zarif had this to say: "What has happened in the past several days is the so-called invincibility of Israel has crumbled." Israeli security services has just allowed this information to be made public. 3 Israeli Arabs from al-Faham were indicted for planning a Temple Mount shooting attack. The defendants, Muhammad Musad Jabarin, 20, and Ahmad Lutfi Jabarin, 20, and an unidentified minor were arrested in January and February. During their interrogation, it was discovered that the 2 of them supported the Islamic State and were planning to attack Israelis on the Temple Mount. And now a look at tonight's programming on JBS. At 7, it's The Wisdom of Dr. Ruth Westheimer. At 7:30, cinema scholar Eric Goldman interviews filmmaker Manfred Kirkheimer about his long career and most recent film, My Coffee with Jewish Friends. At 8 o'clock, an all-encompassing survey of Jewish history is presented by the president and CEO of the Center for Jewish History, David Myers, from the Center of Jewish History in New York City. At 9, historians and authors Deborah Dash Moore of the University of Michigan and Ronit Stahl of the University of Pennsylvania discuss New York City's responses to World War I. At 10, the influence of the Borscht Belt comedians on mainstream comedy is discussed at the 92nd Street Y. And coming up right after this broadcast is In the News. I'm Micah Halpern, and this is today's news update from JBS.